Welcome back to another Q&A with us, the D-Generation X British Fist.
Coaching.
For this Q&A only, Q&A number 122. You know how to answer, we know how to answer the questions. You know how to ask us the questions, brother. Let's go right into the first question. It's RGP Rich Porter. Who was the better heel, HBK, Triple H, or Randy Orton? I think Triple H is a damn good heel. I like saying Triple H is a heel.
Number one, not just because he's my favourite, just because every wrestler's making him seen as the top heel in the company for everything he's done. But Orton would definitely come second.
Yeah, I liked HBK as a heel. I mean, they're all very good heels in their own way, but I think HBK was a better baby face than a heel, personally. I think Triple H was a much better heel than a face, and Randy Orton was a much better heel than a face. I'd say Triple H nods it. Snog, marry, avoid. Knockouts and the Divas. Oh, snog. Okay, I would snog probably Brooke Teschmacher. I would marry AJ Lee, probably. No, I would snog AJ Lee, marry Brooke Teschmacher, because I wouldn't want to deal with all AJ Lee's baggage. Avoid ODB.
Okay, so we've got Snog. I'd snog Tara.
You love Tara, don't you?
Marry Lita. And avoid AJ. I don't want to get arrested.
Well, to be honest, if I was, oh no, actually, I wouldn't be marrying her, so there wouldn't be any involvement there. So yeah, best of both worlds there. Was JBL underrated as a heel champ back in the day? I think he was, because he was a really good heel. I mean, he had the whole entrance music was just fantastic, and the character that he actually managed to portray, considering he'd never been a main eventer before, and he all of a sudden just got pushed into the main event scene, was actually really impressive.
Minus Orlando Jordan, all that rubbish that happened there, I think he was one great heel. He knew how to speak on the mic. He knew how to get people to hate him. He had some good feuds. And I just think he was definitely underrated, and I enjoyed JBL's time as a heel in WWE.
And he's now the heel GM of NXT, so we get to look forward to that on a weekly, hourly basis. Yay. Snog, marry, avoid. Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, or Kesha? Well, considering I don't know who Kesha is, I would probably avoid her. Can I swap something? I would marry Katy Perry and twerk Miley Cyrus.
Same thing.
I'm not going to do twerking on here, though.
I would, but that type of music is not really my kind of thing, but I'll say the same thing as Mr. Parkin.
Well, hopefully, if you marry or snog them, they won't be able to sing, and you probably... if you married them, you probably would have to listen to their music, so... fuck it, it's only a question. The 299, WrestleMania 30, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, or Undertaker versus Cena. We've had this question asked before. I would prefer Undertaker versus Cena, and I think you were Undertaker or Lesnar, were you?
No, I do not agree with Lesnar whatsoever, not whatsoever, because I think Lesnar would accidentally hurt and really hurt Taker. Yes, it's a match we haven't seen, but I think it's years too late, so I'm going to give it to Cena.
Another question we've asked before. How would you bring back Cody Rhodes?
Wow.
Like I said, I like the way they're doing it with the Rhodes family. That's all I can say about it right now.
I'm enjoying the fact that, again, when they bring personal matters, like you've had Dusty in, you've got Goldust in, I think the way they're doing it, and they're having a family to go against Triple H and Orton, I think that's a great way. And the fact you've got Dust in there, or Goldust, to probably back him up as a possible tag team if his push again doesn't work, great way.
Where do you see the Big Show Triple H thing going? It's hard to say, really, but I mean, I can't... The only way I can see this going is eventually it gets to the point where they're putting so much pressure on Big Show that he eventually, just like Shawn Michaels did on JBL, I believe in 2008 when he was broke, it's going to lead to some kind of Big Show losing his cool and turning on Triple H and helping Daniel Bryan or something like that.
As much as this could lead to a possible Big Show heel turn again... Stupid WWE.
Heel face, heel face, heel face, heel face.
That's the way it goes in the WWE. Yes. But I think if it's not going to be a possible heel, because I don't think they'll copy the Shawn Michaels, so this is possibly turning heel to add Big Show to the Triple H storyline. I think that way, as feud-wise, there's no hints of a feud for Big Show.
Mega Roy Green, what do you think of Cody Rhodes getting fired? Do you think it's Rhodes' way to the main event? Yes! I mean, when I saw Cody Rhodes get fired, I was thinking, bloody hell, they're actually putting all this focus on Cody Rhodes and now the Rhodes family, and they're doing a lot for it. And I can't help but think that Cody Rhodes will come back some kind of star, whether it'll be to the main event or not, who knows? But he'll definitely come back as some kind of star, and he has done.
As much as I possibly still see a tag team run again for Cody, is pushed to the main event could still be an open door.
E.J. Francis, would Bully Ray versus AJ versus Austin Aries be a good match for Bound for Glory? It would be a good match, but with the BFG series, you can only have one person. So Bully Ray versus AJ, or it would have to be Bully Ray versus Austin Aries. I'd rather see Bully Ray versus AJ.
As much as I did, in a way, like the Aries feud, and I think it could have gone on longer. I think with the recent shows in TNA from this point, Aries is going to be going into the X Division tournament. You think that could be happening? So AJ Styles, even though they've got this whole contract, him possibly leaving, I think for AJ to be back in the main event scene, even though you're not putting a new star over, it's still a classic match.
RFV089. Have you guys seen the film The Wrestler starring Mickey Rourke as Randy the Ram? I've seen bits of it, but I haven't seen it all the way through. So you'll have to take this one.
It's one that I'm yet to review because this is something that I could definitely bring into the wrestling world. And I think Mickey Rourke being a part of this I think he did a really good job. There weren't really much flaws in this, so good movie.
Which wrestler would you compare to Mickey Rourke's Randy the Ram character where he doesn't want to stop wrestling? Hogan, Ric Flair, Mick Foley. Probably something like that. Someone old. Can you think of anyone else? No?
Undertaker keeps coming back to the retiring, but more Hogan.
What you like to see a live NXT show every month? Where can it be shown live on the WWE website or on WWE's YouTube channel? I don't know why they can't show it on the YouTube channel or the website. I think it's kind of silly in my opinion. But I guess I can see it from two ways. One way, and it's a developmental show, and they don't want to show off too much of these guys before they get to TV. It's probably why they kind of make it, which is why it's not got a TV channel right now. It's on Sky Sports in the UK.
I think Triple H is definitely gonna want the way he compliments everyone compliments it. I think eventually he's gonna come up with these creative ideas. Maybe buying a TV deal. Maybe start using the W website to stream it. So I think it's going to happen. Just obviously they're trying to still build a new stars before they go any more forward.
Yeah, I mean they've got the Performance Center now, which is really good apparently from what I've seen. So I think it's a matter of time before Triple H manages to find a TV channel for NXT. Mr. Jermaine418. How often should TNA do a pay-per-view for Knockout since we don't see them much on free TV? Once a year if they're going to do it. If not, they only have 3. How could they have a pay-per-view when they've got only 3 knockouts? It'd be like a triple threat match lasting 2 hours.
With Knockout, I think there are some that are not being used. I think there's more than 3, but to be honest, a pay-per-view which is 2-3 hours, I think, unless it's going to be loads of backstage old video packages and stuff, I don't think it'll be interesting, draw anything, or even last the full 2-3 hours.
Yeah, and apparently the Knockouts pay-per-view they did have really wasn't all that great. Apart from if you're a member of TNA Asylum, in which case it was freaking awesome! This one is for NJ. It's for you. Have you played Injustice Gods Amongst Us? If so, what do you think of the story mode? Any idea what that means?
I've heard of it going round and around and around, but no, I've not taken much part in it, no.
Ambrose Freak, 95. I missed off the 95 there, I'm sorry. Should Paul Heyman be inducted into the Hall of Fame? At some point, yes. I'd say he is one of those guys that you could consider a Hall of Famer.
As he's done a lot in the company, and yes, he's done stuff elsewhere, I think the WWE, once they found a good send-off point, should be put into the Hall of Fame as a manager, obviously.
As a manager?
Manager.
A manager. That'd be a very unique part of the WWE. Manager. Howard Starr. Would ODB from TNA work in the WWE, or is she too risque for the PG Yeah, very risque for the PG part. I mean, she does that. Bang, bam! You know, you're not going to get that on WWE. Any additional thoughts?
No.
You just don't want to see ODB anywhere, do you?
Even though there are some people who complain about ODB, like she was one of the knockouts that when I first started watching TNA was in a hot spot. It was good. It was good to watch, entertaining to watch. But in the WWE, she won't be getting used as much as she's starting to now if she was in WWE.
And the character is quite over as well, which we sometimes forget. Deco5757, based purely on wrestling talent, which roster do you think is better, TNA or WWE? I'd say TNA, mainly because they wrestle a little bit of a faster style. But there is a lot more to it than wrestling talent, really. I mean, you could even say ROH maybe has the best wrestling talent in the motherfucking world.
I'm leaning a bit more towards the WWE because they've got NXT, which has good wrestlers who are going to branch up.
From
WWE,
the independent scene as well, ROH, yes.
Who we could all compliment. And I think the fact I'm thinking WWE because TNA is probably getting a release on all their good ones sooner or later.
You might be right. Jamie O'Halloran, what are your predictions for WWE/TNA Hall of Fame 2014? Difficult to say for TNA. I'd probably say AJ Styles maybe for TNA. I think they need to lock him into the Hall of Fame if he signs a new contract. As for WWE, love to see Macho Man in there. Would love to see Owen Hart in there. Would love to see Mick Foley. Oh no, Mick Foley is in there now, isn't he? There are a couple of wrestlers I'd like to see in there. Paul Heyman, we've just mentioned there. That's my thoughts. I don't know if you have any additional thoughts on there or anything.
I think the fact that we've got to think of the people who could possibly leave, and there's The Rock, who's going to probably be, well, he's finished. There's the possibility of they always bring back surprise people. Is JBL in?
JBL isn't in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Undertaker. WrestleMania 30 Hall of Fame.
Leave,
if he's going to have his last match, he should go to the Hall of Fame. Luca Quarter, as opposed to Luca Half or Luca Eighth. Who would you sorry about that reference. Who would you have Survivor Series team to beat Orton and The Shield?
It's there in the face.
You know, you've got Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, a tag team like the Usos, maybe.
Big Show.
Or Big Show. Big Show's being used by Triple H, so he wouldn't really be in the match, I don't think.
I made a slight reference on Raw because you had the big Raw team versus The Shield, so I think it could be any of those, if not half of those, to go against The Shield. I think Raw is showing you the possibilities.
Yeah, and you could even include Cody Rhodes in there as well. Do you think, speaking of Cody Rhodes, do you think Cody Rhodes should win the World Heavyweight Championship despite not getting a proper push? Before he did this whole firing storyline, I would have said he probably shouldn't win the World Heavyweight Championship, but now that they've kind of got something behind him a little bit, now he could potentially win the World Heavyweight Championship down the line. They've had a couple of opportunities of him which I didn't feel they took, but without getting the proper push, I don't think anyone should win the World Heavyweight Championship unless it's going to be the Money in the Bank, where you're automatically going to lose every match, like Sandow is doing right now.
I think with Cody Rhodes, as much as you would say yes, because you want to see him fulfill the thing that he's been lacking, I think from this point now, we may like what he's doing, but until the WWE continue booking him in a successful way, I'm going to say not yet.
When do you think this Triple H Shield Orton storyline will end? Interesting. I wonder how long. I don't think it'll end at WrestleMania.
Normally at WrestleMania there's the aftermath, which is Extreme Rules. So I think, to be honest, it'll be about a pay-per-view or two after Extreme Rules.
I kind of see this going quite long term. I mean, they're trying to establish Triple H as the new Vince McMahon character. It's hard to say. I mean, this could go on for quite a long time, probably until Cena comes back. Who knows? Do you think Big Show will turn heel?
Yes.
I mean, I don't watch Raw, but it kind of looks like at some point. I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to say. Are they building this storyline up to maybe have him just go off mental and just beat up Triple H and just do that, or are they going to actually just make him part of the corporation, turn him heel because they kind of have to?
As this is done before Raws, because obviously we're doing three Q&As in advance. From the last one, from this point, Big Show just hit The Miz without worrying about thinking about it. He just did it. So if he continued doing that, hitting people without worrying, I think they may be on a heel turn. The Triple H can have a big guy within his little faction.
It's probably because no one likes The Miz. That's probably why he punished him with no hesitation. Do you think some babyfaces now need to turn heel? The Miz. I think Miz is a babyface that needs to turn heel. R-Truth could be better as a heel, even though he's kind of irrelevant right now. Miz is the big one for me. Kofi Kingston needs a heel turn. You're quite right there. John Cena, to a degree, I guess. Thunder Night 19. Which of you would look best with a Daniel Bryan beard? I'd love to see. You know what? I'm just going to put this out there. I'd love to see you. I don't think I've ever seen you with a beard. So you with a Daniel Bryan beard, even if I just see it once, would be just hilarious. You kind of sounded like a goat when you did that. Maybe it's a sign A lot of the YWC complain about John Cena always being in the main event. But if The Rock or Steve Austin was still in WWE full time, wouldn't they be still main eventing all the time? Yes, but
there you go.
they would have interesting characters, whereas John Cena just isn't.
Well, the fact you've had The Rock, Austin, who have switched between face, heel, The Rock more openly, and Cena, who the WWE praise on all the good and hard work he's doing as a face. Yes, there's a fact that he's in the main event, but the fact that it's the same thing over and over again because the WWE praise him for what he does, it's a lot different to Austin and The Rock.
Especially considering that Austin's run and Austin and Rock's run wasn't really all that long. It was probably like 4 to 6 years in the main event in the World Wrestling.
Switched, yeah.
And then they went to movies, and then Austin had the neck injury, so they weren't in there that long. So it didn't really get to a point where they got boring. And plus, Rock and Austin turned heel at some point, whereas John Cena really hasn't done over the last 8 years now. So there you go. John Harris, what do you think of TNA taking TNA Impact Wrestling off the road if they do it? Well, with all the budget cuts and stuff, I can understand why they'll do it. I prefer them being on the road, but with the budget cuts, they may just have to do it because it costs a lot to run a live show.
To go on the road, as much as that was something we were hoping because they'll be branching out to other fans across the world, it didn't do hardly anything to what they were hoping for. So they're thinking, right, we've done this for a fair few months now. It's not changed a thing, apart from a few dots here and there. We should just stop and save us our money.
Johnny Castaway, how would you book Cena going down to the mid-card?
Easy as P. We've got Randy Orton, who, yes, you could blame it on his wellness policy, but he has done, gone against other lower card wrestlers. John Cena should have done that years ago. So I think the WWE, once Daniel Bryan beats him again, fingers crossed, but it won't happen. I would like to see him stepping down to face the wrestlers who deserve the chance to be built up.
How would I book it? I guess you got Triple H as the heel authority figure, and he basically says to him, right, well, you've just returned now. You can't go straight into the main event. You've got to earn this WWE Championship shot by going down and beating people in the mid-card. That would be pretty simple. And maybe that culminates in him winning a Rumble or winning a Money in the Bank or something. Who knows? The XX Dark Tyranitar XX. Sorry, I'm just terrible with words today. If you would pick one WWE superstar to come back to if you could pick one superstar to come back to the WWE, who would it be and why?
You're saying superstar, I'm saying Diva Lita.
And if you could bring back any team to face the Shield, who would it be and why?
D-Generation X!
New Age Outlaws. I'd definitely say New Age Outlaws. D-Generation X, you can't really do it because Triple H is the heel.
Oh no, you got X, but you got Road Dogg, you got
okay, I see what you mean. You're basically saying New Age Outlaws. Yeah? Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, all right. Just a little bit of complication there, that's all. TNA Universe. Will El Generico make it in WWE? Well, he's doing pretty good in NXT.
That's not his name anymore.
I know, it's not, but it's Sami Zayn. But he is the most over person on NXT. He is the top babyface on NXT. He's getting the best reaction. He's having the best matches. He's cutting some damn good promos right now, and the character just seems to work. So, judging by his NXT work, I think he could make it somewhat in WWE. Maybe not as a main event guy, but at least some kind of star.
Put Sin Cara in NXT to rebuild him back up and move Zayn into the WWE.
Yeah, I think he needs to win. I think he needs another year in developmental. He needs to win the NXT Championship and go on a good run, and then they need to kind of say, well, this guy definitely has it, so then we should bring him up. So we could give it another year, maybe next year's WrestleMania, passwords onwards. Ambrose Freak 95. Do you support WWE's decision to go PG? That's an interesting one. I mean, as adults, I guess we don't support it, but I can understand maybe why they did it. They were trying to reach to a bigger audience, being families, and they were trying to think, maybe we can get more business that way. So, personally, I don't support it because it's not really for adult viewing as much now, but I can understand from a business standpoint, being a buzzword, why they probably did it.
I've not had the biggest problem with the PG. Yes, there are some matches which deserved more to it, which the WWE don't provide us. I think if the WWE just be a bit more relaxed and then allow bad language or some more blood, like when Brock Lesnar bust John Cena open and continue stuff like that, then yes. But I do support it because the fact it's what it is, and the W just needs to be more relaxed for us to continue caring about the direction they're going in now.
Bloody hell, Sunderland have brought one back against Liverpool. It's now 2-1, people.
And
even
this
though
is 3 weeks later.
This is 3 weeks later, so spoiler alert, kind of anti-spoiler alert. Yeah, I don't know how you'd really call that. But anyway, that's been another Q&A with us, the British Fest.
Good.
The red and black, which is the British Fest. Yeah, so that's another Q&A. NJ, please end this.
Thank you very much, people. This Q&A has been very interesting, and the future of the British Fist consists of you guys continue sending the questions in. So please continue to do so, and we'll continue to provide this in many different ways. Until next time, from your viewers, your entertainers, the British Fist, from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for watching, and
suck it.